Hello folks and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I am Conostep and this is going to be part 20 of my early campaign where I'm playing as Aragon. And overall things are feeling pretty good. So far in this campaign I am only at war with two factions, one being the Egyptians over here because rightfully so I did take one of their provinces. So they are a little bit pissed off at me, but I think that hopefully when the Mongols come they will decide that they have more important things to do other than try to get Antioch back. For the time being, they have attacked me once and I was able to fight them off. Since then, I feel a little bit more secure here, for sure. I am working on a tier 2 castle, that keep here. It's going to be probably around 7 more turns before that's finished. But for the time being, at least I do have a fort, I have a port, I have a trading post. All things are good. I'm making almost 4 grand off of Antioch, which is pretty crazy indeed. Now, up until like the last couple turns there in that last episode, Egypt was my only enemy. However, the Almohads did decide to stick their nose into things again, and they are trying to prove to me that they are not irrelevant, and I might have to come back here to Morocco and prove that they are. Because, yeah, I want to trade with them. They have a few ports here in Tunisia, Algeria. That might be it. Yeah, but you know what? That's okay. That's all, you know, I'll still make money off those 2 ports. And you know what, just in any case, I mean, it'd be probably a good thing to come down here to Morocco and teach them a little bit of a lesson. If they do reinforce with this army from Algeria, there's going to be 3 units of Gulam bodyguards in that army, in addition to 1 more here and then a 5th one here. So by attacking them, that's going to give me a good opportunity to kill some more of their family members potentially, and if not, just get rid of a couple of units of good, decent heavy cav. So the thing with these royal knights or you know, these bodyguard units is that they just keep coming, right? As long as the royal line survives, there's going to be more kids coming along. So you can end up with these factions that are small and pretty dilapidated, but then they'll have like a full stack of like royal knights or Gulam bodyguards. And you can look at these flags and get a little bit confused because you'll think, okay, there's not a lot of men there, so I don't have to worry about that faction or I don't have to worry about that army. And then you look at it and you're like, oh my god, it's all heavy cav, you know? And even the half units, you know, the Gulam bodyguards, the royal knights, they can be pretty devastating. If we look up here in Denmark, they've been pushed up to Sweden, unfortunately, and they look pretty weak, right? And they are, but then look at this. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full units of royal knights. And that's going to be kind of tough for France to remove eventually. So I'm hoping that Denmark can hang on for quite some time. And down here, I want the opposite to happen. I kind of want to, you know, punch them in the mouth a little bit, these Almohads, teach them a little bit of a lesson, and go back to being friends, hopefully. So I did send, so they attacked me in Granada, so I've sent some units back up to some provinces so that these units can get retrained. Like here, these Genites, I can retrain them here in Lyon. And same thing with these units, these feudal men-at-arms and these archers. I can retrain these in Castile. And then I believe I had, let's see, you. Yep, I can retrain you guys here. And then I had a couple more at a general. And I can retrain you here. And then another, ooh, actually. So, yeah, I was reminded that this is a better way to do this. Elf, you always got my back. I know you do. So if I'm looking at this, one of my royal knights says valor of 6, and then the other royal knights has a valor of 5. And now, let's see. Yeah, so he kept his valor of 6. He still is going to need to get retrained up to a full unit of 20. That's totally fine. But these guys are going to keep, you know, their valor. So they're 14. So even if after a unit's retrained, these individual units not lose their valor. It's tracked by unit. It's just that this number is always going to be the average, right? So I can put these guys back in here and give them a cheeky little retrain. And then this guy is going to be down. You can never fully get rid of a general's unit. Like once, I want to say once they have a star, you can never fully get rid of that guy. Like he's his own person now. He has his own, you know, he's an alcoholic. You can't take that away from him. So let's put him in here and get him retrained as well. So not having those 2 units here in Granada is gonna hurt. In fact, like now that I think about it, can I even, like if they brought these 3 units of Gulam bodyguards into Morocco, can I beat them? I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it. I have a bit of cavalry up here in Cordoba, but it's not really... I have 1 unit of Royal Knights. I have a general over here. He's in a Royal Knight unit, but that's... So I have two. I have 2 units of Royal Knights. And then what else? Do I have enough spearmen? Let's see. I have 1, 2. These guys are a little bit damaged. And then how many more do I have? I want at least 6, decent spearmen to take on a army full of Royal Knights. So, got another Italian spearman, so that's 3. And then 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I also have this guy here. 8. 8's good. 8's good. What about any javelins? Do I have enough javelins? I have some Genites. They can just honestly sit behind my lines. Like, they can sit behind my line of spears and just throw their javelins. That totally works very well. So let's see. 1, 2. And then I have some Spanish javelin as well. So 3-ish. And what else do we got? Any more guys here? Some more Genites here. So these are Genites, right? Yeah. So like 4, 5, 6. There should be enough javelins. Yeah, I think, yeah. If they want to charge me with their 5 units of Gulan bodyguards, I think that I can hold them at bay with my spears and then just jab them to death. So let's go for it. Let's just kind of, go all in. Merge these guys together. And so I have anything in here I want to bring? No, I do not. So let's go down here and teach them a little bit of a lesson. I am a little bit worried that they are just going to attack again. Because if they attacked Granada, the army that I took from there is a little bit weak because I do have these units that are being retrained in these provinces. So I think, I mean, if it works like in Shogun, the armies, like if they attacked in this turn, they would get leeway, or is that what it's called? Like, what's it called when a pedestrian walks across the street? They get right of way. Yeah. So like it basically counts their attack before mine. And they'd be attacking Granada without the help of my Cordoban army. So it's just be my Granadan army having to defend itself. And that'd be a little bit worrisome. I kind of hope that doesn't happen. That's kind of why I'm doing this, why I'm attacking, because my Granadan army is on the weaker side. Now, that's the thing though. Like staying here in Granada wouldn't, like if they attacked me, it would just be their 2 units of Gulan bodyguards and not the potential 5. But I still think, like, with my full force here, this should be a good play. So, yeah, fingers crossed that that's going to work out. In the meantime, my treasury is really not as big as I want it to be. I'm sitting on 6,000, which is fine, and I'm making 4,000. That's fine. I will be making more soon because I have a couple upgraded merchant buildings being built here in Valencia and, let's see, Leon as well. And then I am working, and I got another one here in Cordoba. And then I'm working on castles being built here in Portugal and Castile, so that I can build that 3rd tier merchant building in these provinces as well. I still have my level 2 castles, my keeps here in Navarre and Aragon. Obviously, I would like my 3rd tier castles here as well, because this is my freaking province, my borders. But I'm not quite there yet. I should spend money on soldiers, I guess, if I'm going to be going to war with the Almohads and retraining soldiers. And, oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, because we are now in the high period of this campaign, so it goes early, high, and then late. And 1205 is the mark of the beginning of the high campaign. Think of it as the mid game. Okay, like that helps. Now I can build caravels, which is my tier 2 ship. So while I'm playing as the Muslims, the Almohads in my other campaign, I can have access to the tier 2 Bagalas like during the early campaign, or during the early game, and that's an enormous advantage for the Muslim factions because they're a good fighting ship, but also they have access to these deep water regions. There's 3 of them. It's the Atlantic Ocean, and then it's going to be the Western Mediterranean, and then it's going to be the Central Mediterranean. Don't be fooled. Malta is not in the Central Mediterranean. It's actually here. It can be a little bit confusing to think about it that way. But the thing with these regions is that they do not border any land, so that they cannot be accessed by coast-faring ships, such as what am I using? The barks, yeah. So these are coastal ships, and they cannot go into these deep water regions. The nice thing also about these tier 2 ships is that not only can they go into these deep water regions, but they can also go 2 regions at a time. So they can travel really quickly, and they can also protect trade routes by being a backup. And what I mean by that is, say I have a unit or a ship in this big old Atlantic Ocean, and it borders just so many of these sea provinces, right? And then say one of my ships gets sunk in a storm, or if I'm even attacked, and you might think that could be devastating, and a lot of times it really can be devastating to my economy, which really does depend on trade. But say I lose one ship in the Spanish coast to a storm, well, I can still link my trade routes through the Gulf of Cadiz, then the Atlantic Ocean, and then back to, wherever, Costa Verde, Bay of Biscay, like wherever. I can just, these deep sea regions just link all of these provinces. Now, of course, losing a ship in these regions also is very possible, but it does create a more resilient trade network. So getting some of these caravels on board is going to be very, very good. They cost 900, but their support cost is actually cheaper. It's going to cost 12 per turn to support them, as opposed to the 20 per turn for the barks. But if I'm looking at the stats, the bark's going to be 1, 2, 3, and then 0 for strength. And a caravel is going to be 3, 3, 1. So not as fast, but then better on attack and defense than the barks. In fact, I'm trying to remember, is there a province up here that trains barks? Or, yeah, caravels. So yeah, if I build these caravels here in Portugal, I will get +1 valor, which is interesting. So I think that the way that naval combat works, obviously it being an auto-resolve, there's a lot of mystery surrounding how the auto-resolve is decided. Typically, I go into a naval fight thinking, okay, 2v1 them or 3v1 them or whatever. If it's one of my, if I'm going up against tier 2 ships and all I have is tier 1s, I might try to 3v1 them, right? Just keep it simple. I just outnumber them. That's all I really know. I don't know how much the stats really matter for. I know that speed does allow ships to avoid fights, but that chance, you're never asked to run away. It just happens. And so I think the game assumes that if you have a weaker but faster ship, then it's just going to try to run away from the fight. At least that's how gosh, now that I think of it, I don't know if human ships ever run away. Because it's always the AI ships that can run away, and then you're never given an option as the human player. Huh? Yeah, I don't think right. Am I wrong about this? Do the human ships ever run away? Yeah, I don't. Okay, I don't know. I don't know about that. But in any case, what I was talking about was the valor, right? For ships. And I know that when we're talking about land units, valor is going to add +1 attack, +1 defense, and then +2 morale. Now, as we look at these ships, we're not looking at any sort of morale stat, right? There's nothing here that says anything about that. Now, attack and defense, sure. So this would be, 4 and then 4, if they're being built here in Portugal. Yeah, that makes sense. Is there a hidden morale stat? I do not know. I do not know that answer, so yeah, it's all kind of a mystery, I suppose. Suffice it to say, it's still worth it to build them here in Portugal, I guess, eventually. Like I am building my DAOs here in Tunisia for that +1 valor as well for my DAOs, so, as it goes. Now, let's see, I feel like there was something else that I wanted to mention. Ah, yes, France, right. The issue of France, my good old neighbor, my good old best friend, France itself. Now, they are freaking steamrolling, and up until now, I've been sort of kind of lackadaisical about the whole thing, meh, I'll get to it. And I have been kind of toying with the idea of using my agents to sort of destabilize their faction or their clan or their family line, but maybe it's time for me to take a more brutal approach. Now, I don't mean war. I'm not quite ready for that. I don't want their lands, for one thing. I don't want to conquer France. I want to conquer the islands eventually. And that's why I'm not too worried about Italy, even though if I look at my points here, you'd think that I should be, because Italy is almost leading. They're just 1 point behind the Byzantines for the Glorious Achievements point lead. So you'd think that I'd be worried about them. I'm not. I'll take Corsica and Sardinia, and if we look at here, Corsica and Sardinia do count for, at least, a point each. So I'll be taking that away from them. And I will be taking Naples as well. Is Naples one of their objectives? It is not. But I'll be taking Naples anyway. It's super rich eventually. They're not using it correctly. Guys, you're doing it wrong. I want to say olive oil is like really good. I think, unless I'm wrong about that. I want to say olive oil and like dyes and gems are like the richest trade resources, but I'm not totally 100% on that one. Yeah, like maybe it's these ones, maybe it's spices and gems. But in any case, I'll be going to war with Italy. Like that's what's going to happen. I'm going to be taking some of their territories. And with France though, what I'm thinking is being a little bit more brutal and more straightforward with my Inquisitors. In fact, I should start training them here in Castile because I will get a +1 Valor bonus from my Inquisitors that are trained here. So I should get on that. Right now, I'm kind of in the process of building a castle here. So it's going to be a while. I kind of messed up. I should have built a monastery in here, but I must have been busy with something else. So I was kind of toying in the last episode with the idea of a couple of the ways that I can use Inquisitors to destabilize regions, right? One of them being that they raise zeal. And say if I raise zeal in a province that's being governed by a person with low piety, then perhaps I can destabilize that region. That's cool, and that could happen. Another way to destabilize regions is to send spies into the these territories. Now, unlike Shogun, where I loved to just send shinobi into enemy territories, I only did this on one of my campaigns. I only did this with my Imagawa campaign because they have a price discount to shinobi, so I kind of felt like I was able to do this. I think it's kind of cheap to do this with every campaign, but with Shogun, you can just send as many shinobi as you want, and the effect is cumulative, so you can really just destabilize other factions pretty easily. In this game, they did get rid of that, so it's only going to be counted for 1 spy. Only 1 spy is going to count for that destabilizing effect and lowering the population loyalty, and that's going to be the highest valor spy that you have in that province. So that can work too. Spies can be a little bit tricky because they can obviously get caught by enemy counterintelligence and border forts and what have you. So that can work. But I think that, being that Inquisitors is kind of my faction's thing, I do get a price discount for them. I'm thinking about throwing them in here and just really loading up, like putting in an Inquisitor in every single French province. They will obviously raise the zeal of every province that they are in. They will eventually lower the zeal once they've burned enough of the population alive. And in doing so, I can also just kind of work on killing as many generals as possible, generals, family members, whatever, and just really brute forcing it. Like really, like not even the problem with my earlier strategy when I was kind of toying with the idea of finding the governors with the low piety in the certain provinces. Man, that's a lot of work. It really is. And I will admit that there are a lot of things in this game that can feel like work. I hate to say it, but a lot of it is just kind of like, okay, what is let's see, what is he? Okay, 3, okay, it's, a lot of it's that. Like a lot of it is really just kind of digging through and digging through and digging through. You don't have to do it this way. You don't have to play it this way, of course, but I do like to find different ways to play these games. I don't want to just conquer everything. I do like using agents and diplomacy, but it is work sometimes. It does feel like work sometimes. And what I did with Shogun was that I would find ways of playing the game where I simplified my processes, right? And I made it so that it felt like less work. And I'm still in the process of doing that with this game. I'm still finding things that can make it easier on myself to do this, to do these things. So I think, right, that's the key. Just put an Inquisitor in every single French province. It's going to fulfill the goal of having a spy in every province. It's going to fulfill the goal of having an assassin, essentially, that can't get caught by counter security in these provinces. And they will be raising zeal as well, which may just happen to lower population loyalty depending on whoever the governor is, right? And then yeah, not think too much about it. Just go about burning people. Now, in the last episode, I feel like I did. Was it in this? I mean, I'm getting my campaigns mixed up. I'm pretty sure that I did attempt to go after the French king. Did I not? Was it the king or was it one of the heirs? I can't quite remember, but for some reason I was being told no. Was it him? No, it's the famous guy. It's the historical Inquisitor. Where'd he go? Was it Raimundo? I can't remember his name. Okay, maybe I can find him in here. Jesus. Is it you? Yeah, here he is. Yeah, Raimundo. There you are. And yeah, I thought I tried going after. So who's he going for right now? Newville? See, I can't even remember what I was doing. See, that's another problem with this. Is like I have to remember what I was doing. It's so much work. Yeah, screw that. Let's just put a guy in every single province. And I was being told, I thought that I had a 0% chance of killing family members even when I was using my 5-star freaking Inquisitor. So I don't know what that means. That's a little confusing to me. I thought that you could inquisit family members. Like it says on the freaking thing when you try to do it that no one is going to be, no one's above this. No one's above the word of God and blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay. And then I had a 0% chance. What? So what am I missing there? I thought that's how that worked. I thought you can just burn all people as long as the piety is low enough. If that's not the case, then I'll do as much work as I can with my Inquisitors, and then I can start getting my assassins involved. I don't think they're quite there yet. I don't have any high valor assassins. They tend to die. I've been trying. He's actually 1 valor. So yeah, Elf, if you are watching this, I was trying the strategy of training assassins and spies that you had mentioned in my practice campaign. I'm playing as the Egyptians, and I was trying. So I burned down my border fort, and I was keeping a spy and or an assassin in my home provinces, and then I was using a spy and or assassin or emissary or whatever to try to fish, as you were saying. So that's the strategy that was, for those of you who are not Elf, the strategy that was recommended to me was to try to fish for enemy agents and bring them to the safety. I say safety for me, so that I don't have to risk agents, getting high valor by sending them into enemy territories. What I can do is try to fish enemy agents, bring them to my territories where I don't have a border fort, so that those enemy agents will not get caught by my border forts. Instead, they will be caught by the counter security provided by my spies and or assassins. And then they can gain valor that way, just safely from the, confines of their own home provinces. I've tried that. So I've been trying that in my Egyptian campaign. And I also tried that in my last Shogun campaign as well. A little differently. I wasn't fishing. I was just leaving bait, like an emissary on an open province with no border fort, but with a port, so that, it was easy access. And man, it wasn't working. But Elf, you're not the only one that I've heard this from. Like, other people have been saying, I've seen it on the forums. People were saying the same thing, that they train their assassins and spies this way. So I must be doing something wrong, and I don't know what it is. but I'll keep trying. I'll keep trying, because it's definitely something that I don't think it's too cheesy. I think it's a value. I think it's valid. It's a valid tactic. I think it really is. Using agents can be hard in enemy territories unless they are of a certain star value. That's real. Sending a 0 valor assassin in enemy territory, you're just going to lose them in the droves. They're going to lose so many of these guys. So I do think it's worth it to try to figure this out on my end. So that's going to be, that's going to be a task for me. Obviously, this is another way of, doing it, is just by hanging out in your territories and killing enemy, princesses or emissaries or religious agents that kind of happen upon. I like to keep assassins in my border provinces for that very reason, but that's waiting. You're kind of waiting for for a while. Like it can, take some time for that to happen. And then he can finally build up to a 3 Valor, and then he just dies anyway. It's like, oh God, come on. So if I could find a more reliable, consistent way of training agents, I would like to do it. I draw the line at using assassins on my own generals and agents, though. That's where I draw the line. I do have just a shred of me does like to roleplay a little bit and to not do cheesing things. Not that people never used assassins on their own people. I get it. But it just, that mechanic feels a little bit cheesy to me because I doubt the AI does that. And I doubt that's really what was intended. I know it can be a smart strategy to get rid of a disloyal general by killing him. But I can also just put that disloyal general in an army with my king. Or I can get him married to one of my princesses. There's non-lethal means to solving that issue. So anyway, yeah, that's a whole lot of talking there. But you know what? I'm happy to, because these are really interesting topics to me, and I would love to hear your opinions on some of these things that I just talked about. So yeah, as far as the glorious achievements points are concerned, I'm not worried about Byzantines because the Mongols will come in eventually and wreck their shit. They might still bounce back, but at that point I can kind of mess with their stuff as well. And the Egyptians are doing pretty well as well. So I'm not too worried about them. I'm not worried about the Italians because I will be going to war with them eventually. And the French is going to be my new long game. Because if I can give some of the remaining Western and Central European powers, whatever's left of them, there's 2 German provinces, there's a few Italians, there's 1 English province, Poland's looking okay, there's 1 Danish province. If I can give them some breathing room by destabilizing this French Empire, that's going to make me feel a whole lot better. Now I am all set to end this turn, and yeah, let's go fight this battle here in Morocco. If everything goes well, I have my emissary hanging out right here, right next to the Almohad Caliph, so that he can try to propose another ceasefire once this battle is over. The nice thing about attacking is that even if it doesn't go well, even if I do lose this, I still kind of win. That's the nice thing about being an attacker, because if you lose when you're the defender, it's just a loss. That's it. You've lost the territory, bad on you. If you lose as the attacker, well, if you do enough damage, you can still kind of come back and lick your wounds, and you can at least be in a position where they do not feel like they're strong enough to attack you. So, not too much pressure here. I just hope that they don't try to attack me during this same end turn. So, let's drop a save. Because God forbid, yeah, in that last episode of my Almohad campaign, I got kind of freaked out because I couldn't load my game back up again, but then I just restarted my PC and everything worked just fine. So, yeah, this game is not the most stable, so if you are trying to get back into it, or if you're trying to play it for the first time, I highly, highly suggest to do what I'm doing and simply just save every single time before you press end turn, because, then if anything goes wrong, you just have to, play that one turn again. Yeah, let's see. So I did kill that bishop. And, I decreed that this man has not been possessed by the devil and may go free. Well, even Don Raimundo de Peñafort, the 5-star Inquisitor, cannot find fault in that man, which is unfortunate. The French have retreated from Burgundy, though, so that is good. And what? Did the Byzantines just launch a naval invasion on Palestine? Holy crap. Wow. And then the Almohads did retreat from Morocco. Okay, that's, okay. I'll take that, I guess. I'll just, burn down the buildings or whatever. The King of France has died. Okay. I'm curious to see how many, if the French have any heirs, because this would be a great time to assassinate them if there's, no heirs left. Let's see. I regret to inform you that the population here have let their faith in the Almighty slip, and evil runs rampant. I have managed to save some souls from eternal damnation, but the people here have no stomach for God's work, and their zeal is diminishing. I will persevere. So yeah, this is when, the zeal has reached its zenith and then it plummets because, as it says here, the people here have no stomach for God's work and their zeal is diminishing. So that's what that means. The people killed thing, when it tells you like 900 people have been killed, there's no population mechanic in this game, so this doesn't really mean anything to my knowledge. But there is still a mystery or two left in this game, I suppose. So to me is my, at least. So if you know anything about this mechanic, yeah, please share. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of messages about this, where my my inquisitors are burning people. True cross revealed. A miracle has occurred amongst all of the burning of souls in France. The true cross on which Jesus suffered and died for our sins has been found and is now in the possession of the Mother Church in Castile. This will surely draw virtuous pilgrims from across Spain to see it and the cathedral where it is housed. Catholic zeal increased throughout Spain. Okie dokie. And I have a daughter on the way. Wonderful. Prince Felipe, you are pious now, plus 3 piety. Oh my god. He applies his strong religious principles to everything he does. Hopefully not everything. Okay, well. What do we got? Oh yeah, it's the year 1206, so we got a new, got new objectives, but that's not true. We did not get new objectives. It's still, Aragon is our only homeland. That is going to be fine though. I did actually look up, this information's available online, not in game of course, but you can look up what the homeland objectives are going to be later on in the campaign for every faction. You can kind of follow it. So you can know, like I know now that Aragon will be making 20 points off of homeland objectives in the late campaign, if I have, of course, my homeland territories. So that's going to allow me to catch up, hopefully, as long as I'm not too far in a deficit by that point. And that is going to be the key, right? Like, for now, it's not good, right? It's not good. I'm down by 33 from the highest, leading faction, which is the Byzantines. So I do have some catching up to do. But if I can kind of see, in the year 12, I want to say 1230, the Mongols will come. And I mean, actually, like, it just might just be the Egyptians getting fucked. But there's a chance that the Byzantines, yeah, look at this. Like, the Byzantines are up here as well. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. And yeah, down here, man, they're really taking it. This has to get squashed, right? Like, there's no way that the Egyptians are going to stand for this. There's 3 provinces at least with armies surrounding this territory that should be able to deal with this Byzantine army. So yeah, that's probably going to be a loss for the Byzantines, but oh well. Yeah, as long as I stay in striking distance, because I can catch up eventually, but I'm going to have to, like, probably, I don't know. I keep thinking about raiding their territory. I can send a crusade to do that. That's not the worst idea. That's actually a good idea. Send an overland crusade to march through, like, Catholic territory, sucking up all of their soldiers and units, and then coming down here to Constantinople, per se, and just sack it and then leave. Like, I don't need to hold on to that shit. So it is going to take about 4 years. That's going to be 5 turns before this castle in Morocco falls. And look who it is, my old friend Muhammad ibn Yaqub. Yeah, poor attacker. -2 command when attacking. Yeah, I just got that guy in my other campaign. So I'm tempted just to kind of like hang out here and let the Almohads come to me. I would be defending if that was the case. Morocco does have hills, so I might be able to get favorable terrain. So yeah, let's just kind of hang out, see if they come at me, because I would be fine with that. I can even bring down another unit of feudal sergeants to help out with that. And if they don't come help out, then Muhammad is going to die for free. It's too bad he's in a unit of urban militia. That's pretty sad. As expected, the Byzantines are retreating from Palestine, and yeah, that's not going to go well for them. Does that mean I've forgotten? Does that mean that army is going to get cut off? I can't remember if armies can retreat overseas. Yes, there is a rebellion. Is it just a peasant rebellion here in Tunisia? Probably not going to be too difficult for the Almohads to deal with. And the Italian Doge has died from an illness as well. And yeah, this is going along, just another, it says it's going to be another 5 years. Okay, well, or 5 turns. Yeah, that's fine. So they did not attack me. Interesting. I did bring down my reinforcements that I had been retraining in my other provinces. Gosh, are they just gonna like hang out and let me take this province? That'd be kind of interesting. You know, I realized something too. Gosh, I really do want a ceasefire with the Almohads, and I realized that, well, I mean, I had remembered that, princesses can be used as emissaries, right? But the thing though is that they're supposed to have a better chance of getting that alliance because they're offering, you know, their hand in marriage. And even though the Muslim factions do not have princesses of their own, that doesn't mean that you can't, you know, they can't marry. You can still use your princess to try to marry into their family. So let's actually see if I can get a ceasefire that way with the Egyptians and see if this works out. Here you are. And yeah, let's do that. Let's try to marry the Egyptians because we are still at war. Yes, we are. And I would like to not be because, you know, they have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ports that I would like to trade with. I mean, come on, that would be so much money. Oh, that would feel great. And yeah, this is going to be awkward because I don't have any siege equipment, so I can't. Oh wait, no, scratch that, I do. I have 1 mangonel here in Morocco. And this is just a tier 2 castle, so a mangonel could get me in. I just don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to be... I don't really want to. That's a lot of work because there's only 1 unit in there, you know? Like, that'd be a lot of work just to... I mean, I could just say, like, leave some units here to guard this castle and take the rest of my armies to Algeria to continue to go after them. Man, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be going into the desert. I want to be just smashing them, give them a bloody nose, teach them a lesson, make them realize the error in their ways, and then go back to my home. That's all I really want here. I feel like France has added more units to this army in Aquitaine. Yeah, see, I don't know if I like that. It is a lot of peasants, I guess. I shouldn't be too worried. What do I have again? Genites, archers, feudal sergeants, 2 units of feudal men-at-arms, which isn't a ton. But this should still beat... I mean, heck, my archers alone should be able to shoot down, like, everything. Yeah, because nothing here has really good armor except for, you know, what, their feudal sergeant and a couple of units of feudal men-at-arms have decent armor. But it's not much. Like, they just have, like 1 or 2 units of feudal men-at-arms. And how about here in Toulouse? Yeah, this is a little bit scarier. They do have 2 units of god damn it. Feudal knights. And right now, I can't even train any of my own feudal knights. So I am behind in that regard. Yeah, that's scary. The fact, yeah, that's actually pretty scary. Okay. So if everything here wanted to fight my armies in Aragon, my 3 stacks, could I defend? I have a bunch of spears and a bunch of javelins, and that's kind of my style, right? I mean, it's my style for now, until I get better cavalry. That's the thing. Like, I have a lot of militia sergeants, javelins, and spears. Like, I can just go all infantry. Do I have, and archers as well, hopefully. Okay, not as many archers. Just like 3-ish. Okay, interesting. But these feudal knights can't attack Navarre. They can only attack Aragon. Yeah, this is a scarier... What was that, 3 units of feudal knights? Yeah. And these are bronze armor upgrades, which is a tier 2 armor upgrade, as opposed to Shogun, where it goes bronze, silver, gold. It goes black, bronze, silver, gold in this game. So that's not bad. You know, that's actually kind of decent. Yeah. France is looking a little bit worrisome. I mean, you'd think that, you know, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 wars is enough for them. Is it still 4? Yeah. They're kind of looking like they want a 5th. Yikes. Gosh, I really hope that's not the case. Man, I don't want to go to war with the French. I'm not really ready. Yeah, let's train. Let's just keep training, guys. What would I want? more Genites, more spearmen. Yeah, more spearmen, I suppose. I should be building caravels here in Aragon, but I can build my caravels here in Valencia for now. And then just keep building feudal sergeants here. And Navarre, what can I get? Maybe let's do, either javelins or militia sergeants. What do I have less of? Maybe do javelins. Castile, what do I want? Feudal men-at-arms? Yeah. Let's do them. Cordoba? Should I get just a couple of units of Royal Knights? Until I can really, like, that's the thing. I don't have a ton of Royal Knights on my northern borders. I have 2 units here. And then another, just 1, I guess, in Navarre. Goddamn. Okay. Yeah, let's get some Royal Knights. Yeah. I don't like training Royal Knights. I like having them as my family members, but just training them feels kind of stupid. But I feel like this is necessary because I need to hold on to this. I need to be able to hold on. This is it. Like, I have to be able to hold on to Aragon and Navarre. And yes, I will be paying more upkeep, and that will suck. It will suck until I can finally get a ceasefire with the Egyptians, and then I can afford that upkeep. But for now, I have to make sure I can hold on to my provinces, of course. If I'm looking at another 23 turns before the Mongols show up, then yeah, like, let's do this right. If I have to get a little bit tight with my money, then fine, you know, whatever. As long as I hold on to my territories. I will tell you what, this buildup of the French on my border, it's making me a little bit nervous, and it's making me wish that really wasn't at war with the Almohads right now. So instead of just kind of waiting around here forever, it looks like they're not going to attack me. So let's actually just go there. Let's smash the faces in. You know, try to do whatever damage I can. I guess I should leave some forces here in Morocco to guard up against these 49 men. Who should I leave? Just like 1 unit of force archers? That's tempting. Because like that could win, right? This 1 unit of force archers could just, like, urban militia is super lightly armored. Very, very lightly armored. Vulnerable to missiles. So yeah, like this 1 unit of horse archers could beat that easily, right? So yeah, let's go in here. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go in here and fight these Almohads here in Algeria and try to beat them up. Yeah, I was afraid of this. I don't want like a rebellion behind me. That would suck. Okay, let's leave some more soldiers, like whatever I can spare. Maybe do, gosh, what can I spare? Ooh, I can bring peasants from like Granada and Cordoba. Is that fine? Let's bring a couple more. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do. Loyalty 115%. That should be high enough. And these places are fine. Yes, they are. Don't worry, you'll be getting your peasant garrisons soon enough. But yeah, I just want to kind of finish this up here so that we can, so I can focus on, you know, the future and not, you know, these pesky Almohads. So luckily, with the completion of those upgraded merchant buildings, I am back up to making 4,000, you know, a year. So that feels pretty good. And I did get my first caravel in the water. Look at that. Isn't that something? Yeah. So yeah, I'll be continuing to build these in Valencia, and I'm training more soldiers. I'm just gonna beef up my northern borders here, and yeah, keep going with that. So let's go in here. Let's see if we can beat this Almohad army, and we'll probably wrap this episode up there. Just want to check on things over here, make sure I'm not missing anything important. And this is going fine. The Byzantines were expelled from Palestine, and yeah, that's all okay. So let's go down here. Drop a save, and end this here. Well, check this out. The Byzantines are pushing back against the Egyptians here. So they've taken Nicaea. Let's see if they're able to hold on to it. And what? The Almohads have retreated from Algeria? Guys, I'm trying to kill you. So Algeria has been conquered, and I just pillaged a fuck ton of money. Okay, so I destroyed a bunch of buildings and damaged some stuff as well. And yeah, we're looking at another 3 turns before this siege in Morocco ends as well. So, Doctrine of Poverty, the teachings of Francis of Assisi on poverty and a simple lifestyle devoted to God are attracting followers and have won the papal approval. His words have brought many to the church, and his new order of monks, the Franciscans, impressed with their devotion to God and renunciation of wealth, conversion to Catholicism, and zeal bonuses are increased in the papal states, Tuscany, Rome, Naples, and Genoa. So nothing that really pertains to me. And what? Yes, I would love to end. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Let's end our hostilities. And yes, a daughter is on the way. Huzzah! So let's see. Prince Felipe has a couple things. Let's see. Most eloquent. He has a gift for being able to talk himself out of any difficulty, making it almost impossible to fault his religious views, and making him a most persuasive administrator. +2 piety and +2 acumen. He is also truly pious. Holy moly, he applies his strong religious principles to everything he does and surrounds himself with like-minded people. +4 piety. Dude, he is pious as fuck. All right, well, so Algeria is not mine. See, I don't want these things though. Oh dear. So, see, I don't know. I don't want to kill the Almohads. I want them to be here between me and Egypt, quite frankly. So, luckily I did get that ceasefire. That's wonderful. That is such good news. And I'm making, oh, yes, give me that. Yes, give me that. 7,401 florins per, yeah, just off of those like 6 sports that the Egyptians have. Oh, yes. Yes. So I guess I'll retreat now. I'll burn down all of these buildings here in Algeria, and I'll burn down. The siege is gonna fall eventually. 2 more turns before this siege falls, and yeah, maybe then the Almohads will accept a ceasefire. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if how likely that's gonna be. I can try. Oh, did I? So did my? Yeah, my princess never got through. Well, I don't need her for that anymore. Let's go send her. How old is she? 25. Yeah, she has plenty of time. Let's send her down here to Tunisia and yes, cancel that previous mission, and let's see if we can get a ceasefire with the Almohad Sultan. Not yet. I want him to retake his territories. Honestly, I don't. That would be dumb to get a ceasefire and then like have a war break out because he's taking back Algeria and Morocco. So let's just kind of back up here. Let's actually, I don't think I'm going to make any money off of Algeria, but I may as well assign this governorship, this title, at least for 1 turn, so I can make just an extra $100 or whatever. Yes, you will do. Don Ferdinand Gustios. You get to be the governor of Algeria for 1 whole turn, I'm assuming, because yeah, I'm assuming that the Almohads will take this back. So let's do that. Let's just burn everything down to the ground. So you get destroyed. You get destroyed. Make a little bit of money, not too much, but just trying to hamper their style. Yeah, this is looking a little bit treacherous. The Almohads might get some free units from Algeria if they do get a loyalist rebellion, but fingers crossed that does not happen here, because I'm just going to be pulling back as soon as this castle in Morocco falls, and I can destroy everything that is here. It's not much. It's just a archery building and a militia building, but I'm going to destroy whatever I can and leave the Almohads with as little as possible, and then I will try to propose a arrange a marriage between my princess and their caliph. Well, in the meantime, I have gotten a ceasefire with the Egyptians, and that is a wonderful, wonderful news. Actually, gosh, maybe I should push that even further and try to get an alliance. That, who are they at war with? The Byzantines, right? Yeah, I just got an alliance with the Byzantines, didn't I? No, I didn't. I did not get an alliance with the Byzantines. I thought I had. Ooh, getting an alliance with the Egyptians does not seem like the worst idea, but the French are looking pretty powerful on my northern border, and they're getting a little bit scary, so I'm going to continue to train soldiers, and I'm trying to cause as much havoc with my Inquisitors as possible. So far, results have been pretty lackluster, but I'm going to keep plugging away. So that's all going to have to wait until next time. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and thank you very much for watching. I've been Conostep, and this has been Medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.